Grudge is directed by Nicholas Pace, stars Andrea Riseborough, John Cho, and Lin Shaye. The Grudge originally originated from the Japanese horror Ju-on, The Curse. And what happens is this is a horror that happens so bad that everything it touches, it just haunts you until the end of your days, until you're dead. So it's not something that haunts a house, haunts a person, but once it touches you, or once it comes in contact with you, I should say, it stays with you forever. I've always liked this concept. I'm a fan of the original Grudge, which is also a remake of Ju-on the Grudge. And, you know, Ju-on kind of, with The Ring, brought Japanese horror, put on the map back in the early 2000s. So, you know, I am a horror fan. So I was, you know, pleasantly excited about a Grudge remake. Do we need it? No, but hey, we remake everything. I did kind of like the trailers. I thought maybe it had something to add. You know, it is an R-rated movie, so those are kind of rare nowadays, but whatever it is. The movie does have gore in it. Problem is the movie suffers from too many ideas that don't really come together at all. Like, there's not really any cohesive narrative. What it feels like to me, and I could almost swear that this movie was designed to be like a Netflix original miniseries and was somehow edited down to like 90 minutes. Because what frustrates me about The Grudge is there's a couple of good ideas that if you would have explored any single one of them, you could have made a movie or maybe even a series of movies out of it. But instead, you got a bunch of loose ideas that don't really play well together. So there were some jump scares in this movie, but by the time we got to them, I was so checked out that I almost didn't care anymore. I just felt nothing. I didn't jump. I wasn't even invested at this point anymore because this movie drags in spots, like really bad drags. But then there's another thing that annoys me, and this is not just a movie thing, this is a people thing, and I don't want to make this like a boomers versus hipsters thing, but there's a large group of people out there that believe that life didn't exist before 2010. I mean, just because we didn't tweet about it doesn't mean that we didn't, you know, go to jobs and get Starbucks and live our lives like normal people. So when the director has these shocking reveals, it's like, oh yeah, well, that's The Grudge. I mean, like it or not, The Grudge is embedded in pop culture. For example, one of the big shocking reveals is that somebody brought the curse over from Japan. And I'm like, yeah, it's Ju-on, it's The Curse. I'm just like... And then another one is, you know, the thing with the hand and the back of the hair, you know, during the shower. It's in the poster, dude! Out in the fucking lobby. You're not surprising us. I think the director found a copy of this and thought, oh, nobody ever remembers anything about this, so all of this is going to be this shocking reveal. It's not. It doesn't work. The actors and actresses just do the best they can with what they got. I'm not going to say anything bad about them, especially Lin Shaye. Andrea Riseborough, I loved her in Oblivion. I loved her in Mandy, you know, so I was excited to see this cast. Of course, who doesn't like John Cho, right? But yeah, there's a lot of ideas that, you know, there's three different families that is affected by the curse, and it shows them out of sequence. So you have a really hard time following what's going on because you're jumping between three different people, three different groups of people, three different stories. Do they all come together? Sort of. By the time it does, you kind of really don't care anymore. Also, this movie suffers from a massive anticlimactic ending. It's almost like they really just didn't know what to do. So like, well, we'll just stop it here, you know? Kind of reminds me of that part in Forrest Gump where Forrest is running across America, you know, back and forth, and then he just kind of stops and says, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home now. That's kind of what this movie does. It just stops. They kind of tried to borrow from some other movies, and if I told you what movie they borrow from, I'd totally spoil the ending for you, but when you watch it, you're like, oh, they tried to do that. Oh, really? Whoa. Why? But yeah, The Grudge was very disappointing. Is it as bad as Black Christmas? No. Did it ruin my childhood? No. Does it make the original suck? Not at all. Not even the slightest. Do you need to see it? No. Do you need to rent it? Absolutely not. You can forget all about The Grudge. You can sleep through it. You won't miss a thing. You really won't. You really won't miss a thing. I would have to say I'd give The Grudge about 2 cheese curds out of 5. I think I'm being really liberal with that. I'm giving it 2 because, like I said, if this would have played out in like a series format where you would have showed one story and then another story and then another story, but have the stories be, you know, chronological order, that might might have been interesting. I could actually see this being a series on like Netflix or Shudder. I love my Shudder account, by the way. Shudder, if you want me to shill for you, I totally will. But yeah, you know, I think this would have been better if it was a series. I would have liked to have seen different things that touch the Grudge. You could have made a series out of this. And that's kind of what bums me out because, like I said, there's the skeleton of ideas that could have worked but weren't really built upon in any way, shape, or form. On paper, everything looked good. The cameras look pretty good. It's very atmospheric. It's a pretty dark horror film. It's very gory in spots, but you know, it's like a Cadillac with a shiny new coat of paint, and the engine is in perfect condition, but then it's got square wheels, so it doesn't go anywhere. And that's kind of what happens with The Grudge. It just does not go anywhere. So yeah, 2 out of 5 cheese curds. It's a movie. You know what I mean? It's not going to ruin my life, but it's definitely not worth your time. Thank you so much for watching. Did you see The Grudge? Also, what's your favorite surprise dumpuary movie? I know there's always a horror movie that comes out in January. I like to call it dumpuary. Sometimes they're really bad, and sometimes there's a good one that comes out. What's your favorite? Which one did you hate the most? Leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you check me out on Goober Brothers Entertainment tomorrow. I'll be there at 8:30 p.m. with the rest of my brothers from the boardroom, where we'll probably talk about God knows what. But anyways, you guys have yourselves a groovy day. And this is the Groovinator signing out. Peace.